Station again, that
It's EWG, the Environmental Working Group.org.
WG.
And they're located down in Washington, D.C., and they do a lot of research. I understand your concern, but this bill would ban all condoms and lubricants that have PFAS in them. So if something is tested in the future and it contains PFAS, it would just be banned. You know, it would be put on the list. And I understand also, I mean, that's one of the problems is that we don't know what is being tested, what's not being tested. So we know that those two condoms definitely have PFAS in them. We know those 4 personal lubricants definitely have PFAS in them. We don't need them in New Hampshire. We don't need them in our water system. We don't need them in our landfill system.
I'll ask, well, this is work session, we can talk, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry.
It's a
Sorry.
conversation.
It's a conversation. So one of the other things I learned after, I should have reached out to you directly, and I apologize for not doing that. One of the other things that I got concerned about was they don't, specifically I looked up the KY jelly because that's like such a famous lube brand or whatever. So,
Yeah.
you know, I noticed a lot of people in this room when you mentioned them, like, oh, which was, I thought was funny. But anyways, so I looked it up, and interestingly, when I researched that, and maybe I misunderstood this, or maybe you have a different understanding, but it sounded like the ingredients themselves aren't necessarily PFAS, but there's like a process that they get contaminated sometimes. And so I am curious if you know how they do it, like do they test it once and it's forever marked as PFAS, or maybe they can streamline their production cycle? And I don't know. There's so many questions about it that I thought this was actually a really interesting bill last week.
And obviously, I think it's interesting as well. That's why I put the bill forward. I would envision, or I would assume, I don't have documentation on this, that if a product contains PFAS because of a procedure, which I'm not sure what the procedure would be, that unless it's going through PFAS pipes or something. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe it's just
let's just say theoretically, if because of the
Okay.
procedure there's PFAS in there, and it's banned in New Hampshire, that they could then have the option to modify that procedure, remove the PFAS, and then prove to the state that it's not in there.